This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening and welcome to our special hurricane coverage in the Northern Edition. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. All eyes are on Hurricane Matthew tonight as the powerful hurricane makes its way towards the Bahamas. A hurricane warning is now in effect for the entire Bahamas and a tropical storm warning for the Turks and Caicos Islands. Islands in the south are expected to begin feeling the effects late tonight or early tomorrow. For the first time in more than 8 decades, the capital is expected to get a direct hit as the eye of this storm has now doubled in size. It's forecasted that storm surges can be as high as 15 to 20 feet when this storm enters the Bahamas. That coupled with heavy rains and winds. Now Grand Bahama is expected to feel the impact early Thursday morning. The Grand Bahama Power Company has completed its checklist and work teams are scheduled to work 24 hours during and after the storm. Tonight, the president shares the company's contingency plan. Shashina Roll reports.
President of the Grand Bahama Power Company, Sarah McDonald, says they have already activated their emergency storm response plan. Following their checklist, which includes coordinating with the various government agencies, she says their first plan of action is to send emergency staff home today to get their homes in order before heading back to work.
They will then be brought back. We will have 60 plus employees who will be riding out the storm. 40 of them will be locked into the plant, 2 shifts that don't leave so that they can spell each other off, and the remainder at the depot who will be there to take customer calls, prepare work packages, prepare the trucks, so that as soon as the all clear is given, we'll be ready to go.
The president says safety is a major priority for residents.
Don't touch down power lines ever, even if you think that the system's not on. You don't know, there can be current still running through the lines, so we don't want customers to touch anything that has to do with our plant.
And while you can call the power company's emergency number at any time, here's what can be of greater importance.
Damage to poles, down power lines in particular, and any trees that have crossed a line. Those are the big ones that we need to know about. If your power's just out, I mean, of course, people can still call, but we'll know at that point if everyone's out, and it's the real damage that we want to hear about.
McDonald also gives this advice on how you can protect your household appliances and property.
If you have time, get some surge protectors now, because that's your system. That's not our responsibility, but we have always advised people to make sure that it's safe. But I will also say that we do not have a planned shutdown time. We do not decide that when the winds get too high that we have a planned shutdown. If the winds are so bad and it results in there being a system-wide outage and the storm is still on, we will not restore it, but we do not plan to turn off our generation at any point.
8 specialists will travel to Grand Bahama to assist the Grand Bahama Power Company with their systems, substations, and storm restoration. Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahama Airport Company announcing that based on the latest information, management has determined that operations will cease at the Grand Bahama International Airport around noon tomorrow until further notice. Airport officials say due to the approach of Hurricane Matthew, all passengers traveling during the affected period are encouraged to contact their respective airlines for flight information and updates. Meantime, the Freeport Harbor Company is advising the public that operations at the Freeport Harbor will come to a halt tomorrow as well. Operations will resume once weather permits. All traveling passengers are encouraged to contact their respective travel agencies, cruise, and ferry operators for updates. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology advising that all schools in the Northwest Bahamas will be closed as of tomorrow. The islands in the Northwest Bahamas include Abaco, Andros, Berry Islands, Bimini, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama, and New Providence. The ministry says further updates and notifications on the reopening of schools will be provided as soon as the all clear is given. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, mobilizing its action plan. Officials say NEMA's facility is up and running and is fully prepared in the event the storm impacts this area. Italia Hall has that story.
The NEMA warehouse was established to service the northern islands of Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco. In the event of a disaster, the warehouse located in Hawksville is responsible for providing supplies. With the threat of Hurricane Matthew upon us, the Grand Bahama Disaster Consultative Committee has intensified their hurricane preparedness plan. Deputy Co-Chair Tammy Mitchell.
What we're doing now at the warehouse is that we're ensuring that all of the different districts are given the necessary equipment to start the cleaning process in the event that Matthew actually reaches Grand Bahama. So we're giving them, for example, like chainsaws or even as simple as shovels or saws, just to make sure that they have the necessary things that if they need to clear the road.
Now directly behind me is the Chief Counselor for Sweetens Key, Gladstone Russell, who is currently putting items in his vehicle to take back to Sweetens Key for the residents on that island if the need arises.
Chainsaw, all the equipments would it be needed in case of fallen trees. Yeah, we get boat and we get bus in place in case there's evacuation. Everything is in order for that.
And for those opting to use generators, the Deputy Chairman of the Disaster Consultative Committee says you must be cautious.
Reminding persons not to keep generators inside your homes. They have to be run on the outside because that type of exhaust can also be a serious hazard and even detrimental to some persons.
All residents in flood-prone areas are encouraged to evacuate. Mitchell is making another appeal for shelters.
We're still limited. We have been given the okay to use all of the gyms on the island of Grand Bahama, and because all of them have been checked, social services will be manning those gyms. So all of the shelters, and right now we have about 8 shelters. We have 7 in the city of Freeport and 1, which is the 8 Mile Rock High School gym in 8 Mile Rock.
Mitchell says that preparation is key and is encouraging those on the northern islands to secure their homes, documents, and to ensure that their families are aware of their preparedness plans. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thanks, Natalia. Stay with us. There's more news after this.